All right, all right. What's up to the crew? I do believe we are live. Please confirm in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. I see the crew is hopping on. Erica, welcome, welcome. We have Crypto Cupcake in the building and McCall, one of the OGs. Thank you everybody for joining. Please confirm if everything is loud and clear. And there's a lot that I want to get through today. So we're going to get rickety right into it. Loud and clear. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right, so the markets are pumping again. We saw Bitcoin pumping on the ceasefire news. I have actually just finished recording a full update on the war and how it's affecting the markets. The geopolitical impact on the markets right now is very, very significant. And yeah, I'm very excited about it because I actually learned a lot. And when I learn something making a video, that's when I know it's super, super important. All right, so straight into the trading today. Ciao, ciao, Bella. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Ika in the building. Guillaume, big salute, brother. Welcome, welcome. And I know we're not going to have JCG in the building today. I saw in the Discord just now he is busy, but we are going to test out one of his strats because he has been absolutely killing it. Let's actually bring up the Discord. Guys, I'm so impressed. This Discord is becoming an absolute powerhouse and we're improving there every week. So well done, everybody. The P&Ls coming in here are absolutely awesome. I must say, trade of the week probably goes to Mr. JCG. I know you're going to watch this afterwards. Congratulations. Let's go. 20x, 900%. Simple strategies, good risk management. You can see the smile that this puts on my face, guys. When you study the strategies and you keep it safe, you keep your emotions intact, you are going to make money. And really, well done, bro. The way that you are learning and picking up everything so quickly, it's super impressive. Hedge Monks, I've also been really loving your input in the community. A very, very nice, chilled way of trading. I know you trade on multiple prop firms, including MUBITE. Absolutely lovely to see you milking it. And yeah, just super impressive. Altec doing really well. Of course, McCall, as always, close to that trade of the week. 100x, 700%, and beautiful from that value area low to that value area high. Absolute impressive stuff, man, McCall, and lovely to have you on the chat. And look how it goes, guys. Well done, well done. Awesome to see these P&Ls coming in. And now, for those of you who haven't noticed, we have a community classroom, right? So that's throughout the week. Even if I'm not in the Discord, we will have those who are trading full-time or a lot of the time sharing their screens and actually chatting in the community classroom in a live stream environment. I was there yesterday for one of these, and the sharing of information is absolutely amazing. So get involved. And you know, this trading setup group is hard to even keep track of. The trade setups that are coming in here from those of you who are finding success with the strategies is, I mean, honestly, for me, it's absolutely heartwarming. I have such love for this community, and we are just starting to hit our stride. And the Discord is hot, guys. We can see here online 43 at current, and yeah, very proud of you all. Okay, so current trades quickly. I have a few opened here, nothing too major. I'm just going to move my stop loss up on a couple of these. I have mostly been going in and out of my trades, but these are the ones that I do have open. The realized P&L has not been bad, but it has been a little bit choppy. 900x. But either way, we've been doing well, and we've been doing it well as a community, and I'm loving the alpha, guys. I really am loving the alpha coming in from the crew. All right, so this ETH trade, I actually entered back here, and I entered. Why am I lagging? Okay, my brush is not working. But I entered back here at the breakout, and I did sleep on some of the final TPs. I was looking slightly higher. We came all the way back down to my entry, and now we're back up again. I have taken most of the profits off the table, but I'm just going to bring my stop loss up to this little bit of resistance turned into support here. See if we do get a breakout here, I'll milk a little bit more out of the market. And yeah, I have been trading Zcash. Zcash has been going absolutely nuts. We did get a nice little entry here. A little scalp 100% on the 25x. I'm just going to bring the stop loss up for now. I have also taken most out of the capital out of that trade as it was a scalp trade. Same thing with near. I basically just looked for the really nice pump signal on Bitcoin today and just popped in a few long trades there. Also going to bring the stop loss up a little bit there on the near trade. And then Tau has also been a great coin to trade, guys. So if you are looking for a coin to trade, Tau is a nice one. You can see I just identified a very strong level there, and I was watching price as we came back down. And then once we broke back above that level, I did enter into that continuation scalp. And yeah, you can see what was happening on the RSIs. Of course, Market Cipher also gave us some nice entry signals there. And yeah, we'll see if the markets keep pumping here, then we'll take a little bit more out. But I'm happy with these because, yeah, they've been decent profits, especially for such a choppy market. All right, I want to speak now a little bit about this Apex campaign because it is very, very time limited. I do love this exchange. I have funded a little account here that we are going to be, that I am having internet connectivity. Is everything clear, guys? Confirm for me if everything is clear. But yeah, the entries have been sniper, right? I play it safe, guys. I play it safe. I've lost enough money to this market to enter into any trade that I'm not feeling very, very happy about. And, you know, I actually had a chat to JCG in that classroom, and it's such a game changer, right? As soon as you find that edge and you're like, wow, I'm not gambling. I'm a trader. I'm trading. Like, I have a high win rate. It's such an amazing feeling, and I do want that for everyone here. So if you are struggling, keep trying. And yeah, there's a lot of cool new strategies I want to actually look at today that have been popping up in the community, like the 3-minute scalping strategy using the OBs and the market cipher. So here's an account I've just dropped a little bit in there. I'm going to be starting up this account nice and small and trying to build it. And we'll also be using it for live trading. It really is just, guys, there's a reason why I've chosen Apex as our DEX, right? Bybit is our 6. Apex is our DEX because it's tippy top the best, right? I've traded on all of them. This one gives you no trouble, super easy deposit. You just click here, choose your chain, you make your deposit, make sure that once you have deposited, you transfer from your funding account to your perpetual account. Super, super easy. And you will need to transfer it to the perpetual account to get the deposit bonus. And as I say, this deposit bonus, it's only 2 weeks, right? And we're already halfway through the first week. Any deposits you make in these first 2 weeks with Apex, you're going to get a nice juicy 20% on that according to this structure, right? $100, $20 bonus, $500, $100 bonus. And I want you to just, even if you're not going to trade it, if you can, drop $1,000 in there and get $200 to trade with the $200, guys. That's free capital. And you can see now I've dropped a little bit in there. You can build an account with $200. And this is why I do these things, right? This is why I push for the community, because with that $200, if you can build it into $500, $1,000, and McCall knows this. We have traders, when you start a new account, you start it small. Even if you're not going to trade with what you deposit, just try and make use of this free capital, because that's what it is, guys. It's free capital. And as you can see, very important, you must, first of all, not withdraw it, of course, within the 2 weeks, and you must send it to your perpetual account, right? That's part of it. And you can see here that I've also offered, I mean, it's awesome, 15% fee discounts here, right? You first of all, from Apex, they've given us all 5% off on perps. Then we've added an extra 10% rebate. So 10% of your fees will be directly rebated back into your account. And this is super cool. This is not easy to get. I have a really great relationship with Apex, and yeah, that's why it's working out so nicely here for us. So please do take advantage, guys. Show the fire here, because after these first 2 weeks, we're going to do a volume milestone bonus. So all the volume that you rack up, you reach milestones and you get extra free capital. And you know, I'm so happy about this because I really do love Apex. You know, I will never push anything to you guys that I am not 100% on. And this is built by Bybit. This is 100% secure. I trust it with my own funds. I have thoroughly enjoyed trading on it, right? I've traded in esports trading competitions on 4 or 5 other dexes. And it's been like, oh, I'm like trying to get the team to help me. Like, what is happening here? How do I close the trade? How do I enter the trade? Honestly, it's been a nightmare. And Apex was just like, wow. This is basically a decentralized Bybit. It works so well. So there it is. All right, all right, all right. I think it's time to go into the charts, guys. I think it's time to go into the charts. Let's get Rickety rolling. Yeah, the 20% is juicy. It is juicy because it's straight up real capital, right? No other strings attached. You can get going with it as soon as you receive it after these first 2 weeks. Like I always say, free capital is free capital, guys. If you can get any of that and trade with it, you can build an account. And if you build an account, you can actually build wealth out of something that came to you free. And if you are a higher margin trader and you're saying, oh, what can I do with $50, $100, $200? They can cover your fees, right? They can cover your fees for your first month of trading. Okay, awesome. Yeah, guys, please do get involved, because the more of you that do get involved, the higher bonuses that I'm going to be able to get for those volume milestones. And then I'm sure all of you saw, right? I'm also giving away. So you guys let me know what you want, right? Do you want a tablet or do you want this? I mean, it's pretty cool. This is an 8 gig RAM, 12 gigabyte ROM smartphone, right? It is capable for trading. These devices are capable for trading. Or I have a Web3 phone, right? So I think I'm just going to leave it up to the winner to choose. And the person who trades the most volume, of course, take it slow. Don't go risking money, right? Do your trading as you should trade, risk managed, but focus it on Apex, because in the next month, I'll choose the person with the highest volume. And if it goes well, I'll give a device away monthly, and we won't just do it for volume. We'll do it for highest P&L on Apex or best trading setup. I think will be a cool one. We'll do in a month best trading setup that has allowed the community to get the highest ROIs. And I'm happy to give away devices, guys. It's the least I can do. And if you're supporting me, I'm supporting you, and we're all a happy family. All right. You need one trade to validate your bonus. Great point. Great point. So someone is reading the terms and conditions. Well done. Should we actually go into these a little bit? All right. So they have highlighted this. Don't deposit it and withdraw it, right? Must be transferred into perpetuals. And then there we go. Okay, must complete at least one perpetual trade. So even if you open and close a trade, it should work, right? Thank you, Gian. Much appreciated, brother. Apex is awesome. Look at that. It really is, guys. This is why I'm bringing it to you. Like, there's no other way to go. You can even see I'm repping the merch, and it's such a nice baggy Gen Z cut. I love it. Okay, let's get it on. Tech in the building. Let's go. Well done. I've been seeing your trading. Beautiful stuff. Some confused trading and gambling. You know, it's interesting. Some people even come into trading like just thinking it's gambling, and then they become good traders and they actually move over to full-time trading. I have seen it happen. All right, so guys, let me know in the chat what's happening. What do you want to do? What if you don't deposit up to $100? I think the starting tier is $100, yeah. So you have to make $100 in deposits within the first 2 weeks to get 20 USDT. For the next one, I will try get it lower to 50. But yeah, this is the one they've created, and $100 is the minimum. So try just get $100 in there, even if you're not going to trade with it, so you can trade with the free 20. All right, thanks, McCall, for that. I hope you can get involved there, brother, because it's nice to milk some free capital, right? All right, so this is Bitcoin on the daily. What I'm actually going to do here is, I don't want to do a long one today, right? But I do like to teach the due diligence. So everything loud and clear. We are all good. All right, please do smash that like button if you do enjoy the stream. And yeah, I've really been missing this community. I've been working so hard on the course material and really been missing these streams. But I am thinking of giving more work to the editor that I do work with, which will leave me more time to be with this community and live stream, and my walking desk is now ready to go. So you're going to see me just doing my own trading, live streaming more on the channel. And yeah, super excited about that, because I know at random times, not everybody can hop on. Okay, so try to actually do this along with me. What we're going to do is naked as the day we were born, right? And I'm going to speed through this, but it is nice to do the due diligence. There is a lot I want to get through today. Right? But I love to just teach the good habits. And when you come on It does. I do have a feeling we're going to rip. That's why I haven't closed those long trades, Mr. McCall. Let's see who's in the building. Dove Tikio, welcome. Lovely to have you. Let us know if you're new. I don't recognize your face. Maybe I've forgotten. I've been so busy that my memory is, everything is just becoming a blur. I'm sure y'all know how it is. Are you new to the community? Welcome, welcome. I didn't actually open trailing stops on the current trades, but did everybody watch the trailing stop video that I dropped? I feel like trailing stop is something that is highly underutilized, right? So yesterday I dropped a full trailing stop tutorial. It's there on my channel. Please do go check it out. It's super easy to use. Should we just drop one in on one of these Bybit trades, just so everybody can have, you know, a little bit extra on how we do the trailing stop. Let's drop it in on the ETH trade. It's super simple, guys. Really easy. All right, the first thing is to just measure back from your current price, like how far you would want your trailing stop to trail. And really the only difficult thing about this is understanding how far, you know, from current price should your trailing stop be, so that doesn't just get clipped. All right, a lot of people don't use it because they start by setting a trailing stop just behind price, and then every time they do it, it just gets clipped and they get stopped out of the trade, and they're like, wow, you know, what is the use of trailing stop? You have to identify the volatility, so that when there's abnormal volatility, that's when the stop will get hit. And really one of the best things you can use for that is parabolic SAR, right? I do have a full parabolic SAR tutorial. It's, in my opinion, also very underused, and it gives you the perfect position to set your trailing stop so that mathematically when that trend changes, I'll quickly show you here, right? So you go to your indicators. You can do it visually, which is also a nice way. You just look at the candles and you say, okay, which is the biggest candle here? What is the average? All of that stuff. It's nice to do it visually. But if you just go to your indicators, I think there's a parabolic SAR on Bybit. So there it is. It's super cool, super easy to use. I think these are going to be a little bit small. Let me just make them bigger here for you to see. All right, let me make them thick, nice and thick. All right, so there are the little dots, right? And what parabolic SAR does is it shows you the dot that will be hit to technically change that trend. Guys, it's mathematics being used. Absolutely beautiful. I posted a video on it like a year ago. I got like 300 views. I don't understand why this indicator is not more used. I mean, it's so brilliant. Look at this. Parabolic SAR got hit, trend changed. Parabolic SAR got hit, little bit of chop, trend change. And you will see this all over the place. It is especially useful. I'll watch the tutorial. I'm not going to do a full tutorial now, right? But it's especially useful when you're in a big trend. Watch out for times when you are a bit choppy. But if you are seeing a trend like this, use the parabolic SAR to trail your stop right there, so that when that parabolic SAR gets hit and you see the trend change, that's when you hop out of the trend. Is everybody with me? So let's do it, right? Parabolic SAR is literally telling us that the trailing stop should be at break even right now. So let's do a little exercise and let's test her out. All right, let's test her out. So you just, it's quite simple. Use the rate. I really prefer using the rate, which is the percentage. And you just take it down from current price to where you want to go, 2.8%. You don't have to get it super accurate because you can always drag it around, right? But choose rate. I thought the tutorial was cool. Let me know what you guys think of it. And then you can just do 2.8%. And yeah, watch the tutorial to learn how to use the activation price. It's really useful for automating setting your stop loss as a trailing stop, like at your first TP. It is a game changer for win rate, right? Super useful. I love this. You can see I'm like passionate about trailing stop because it's so cool. All right, so now you see the trigger, and now any price movement upwards, you can see the trigger is already moving. I'm just going to drag it to the dot of the parabolic SAR. Right, and then what you'll see is the trailing stop will trail up with your parabolic SAR as you go up. So thank you, Giom. That is a nice practical example that we can use just to demonstrate that. Awesome. First time joining. Okay, lovely, brother. Please do join the Discord. I mean, the learning going on there every day is really amazing. So become part of the team. And awesome to meet you, Mr. Dove. Is it Dove Tekio or Dove Te? Dove Tekio. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I mean, awesome, right? You can have your parabolic saw right on Bybit. It tells you exactly where your stop loss should be at any one time. Super, super cool. The trend is just starting. Yeah, I do agree, right? If you look at my ETH trade, and we're going to look at ETH TA, but if you look at my ETH trade, all right, I entered at the break of the major resistance. And I also think the trend could be starting to the upside. So even all the way down. Okay, that was my fault for not setting some TPs. I just wanted to see how it played out, and it was in nice profits. And then as it came down to entry, I decided not to close it because, you know, what will often happen is if you enter at a support and resistance flip, right? That was the break of the resistance, and now we got the retest, and that is a confirmation that it is a support and resistance flip. And that's why I've left the trade open with a little bit in it. Alrighty, nice to have everyone here, and we are learning, which is great. Please do smash the likes, guys. Smash those likes so that the channel can go out to more people, our Discord can grow, and yeah, I always talk about the mind pool, right? The more minds we have on a daily basis with more ideas, I mean, the alpha flowing in that Discord right now is just absolutely incredible. Okay, so monthly time frame. Of course, the first thing we do notice here is the general upward sloping channel of our bull and bear markets, and we can see right now coming to major support and resistance in terms of a flip. And this is really where I could see do or die for basically, you know, the bear market accumulation phase below and then back into the bull market trend channel. So it is making a lot of sense to me why we are getting at least, you know, major confusion, consolidation at this level, because it really is do or die right now. And if we go below it, that could be the final phase of the bear market. And, you know, a few things could happen here. And one thing that I think is on the cards is a lower high, right? Since we broke the structure of lows and higher lows and highs and higher highs, we broke it here with a lower low. We could come in now for a lower high. All right, even I get confused. High, low, low, high, low, low, high. We could now, in terms of market structure, since we broke it, we could put in the lower high anywhere there. And just keep in mind that if things change geopolitical, if we get massive pumps and we break that high, then we could still be in an upward sloping market structure. I know it's confusing, and sometimes crypto does throw TA out the window when geopolitics are just so significant on price, which is right now, right? We have war directly affecting oil because of the Strait. The oil directly affects the inflation and the rates, and that all directly affects crypto. I don't think crypto has ever really linked this much onto the larger political and economic sphere. So it's a super interesting time, and it's actually great right now because we have so many leading indicators into Bitcoin. All right, we have so many market charts like the oil chart and the gold chart that we can use as leading indicators into Bitcoin. All right, so looking for either a breakdown below for really much lower levels acting as support, or if we do get the continuation pump from here on the monthly, we can very clearly see the next major upward sloping resistance as the median line of this channel, right? I'm speaking a little bit fast because I want to get a lot done today. How are we doing for time? Time just seems to move in these streams. It's crazy. All right, so anyway, looking at market cipher on the monthly, it is always nice to just check in here. All right, we had the double bearish divergences play out really beautifully, and now we can see that our wave trend is starting to slow on its decline on the monthly. This could be a sign that, yes, we might be heading for a wave trend reversal. We have to keep an eye on these two wave trend lines. All right, let me make this nice and big. Super important. This is OG stuff to understand market cipher on these larger time frames. This is how you get the banger swing trades, right? Do you see that this line It's a little bit hard to see here, but this wave trend line and this slow moving average line are coming closer together right now. Right, we have to watch that, and we have to watch it for a cross. If trend does continue to change to the downside here and they start splitting apart again, obviously that would be the sign of more downside. We can also see something very significant here, which is money flow turning around on the monthly time frame. Another sign that we could be coming to a monthly reversal, and a monthly green dot here could really mean a month or a few months of green. So it's very important we watch out for this and keep an eye on when it does happen. We're also seeing VWAP curving up here with the right curve, right? VWAP is curving up towards the trend reversal cross, and it also has the curve that we want, which is pointing up towards that zero line for the crossing and the trend reversal. I also just want to quickly bring up the RSIs here, and most importantly, actually the stochastic RSI here on the monthly. We also need to keep an eye on this. The slow moving average has crossed over. All right, so we've seen the actual stochastic crossing over its slow moving average, and that is also a sign that potentially we could see a trend from here, right? What we do often see on stochastic is this kind of action where it's just playing with your emotions, where it crosses up, crosses down, crosses up, and you really need to see the cross up with a nice trend up into the momentum zone. So just to be clear here, this structure is what we're looking for. All right, this is what very often happens on monthly stochastic, and this can still happen, right? More chop, more downside. But if we get this playing out now, that's where we look for our major reversal swing trades. All right, so watch out for chop here or trend up to the momentum zone. Boom. And you can see here, if you catch it at that point, trend up to the momentum zone, that's your beautiful, beautiful long, literally, as McCall said it, to the moon. If you're in your longs there, you've got it, right? All right, check out my ETH trade on the P&L share page. Awesome, awesome. Oh, excited to see the ETH trade. All right, trend is just starting, getting positioned. Love it. I use the US 100 chart and SPY chart as indicators for BTC. US 100. Very nice, man. And SPY chart. Drop us the actual tickers for TradingView in the Discord so I can check those out. Super, super cool. And yeah, I'll check out your ETH trade shortly. I'm just going to speed through this top-down analysis. And yeah, I do also want to look at some altcoins today. Oh, I think we're doing well for time. We're 30 minutes in, guys. We're 30 minutes in. All right, from there, let's head to the weekly time frame. All right, weekly time frame is where we can start noticing a little bit more on the trends closer up. And this is something that I think is hugely significant, and we're also going to check it out on the daily. This really, really nice downward sloping parallel channel. This is a super, super important time for us right now. As we can see, this has been the trend that has been intact since we took our first major dippy tumble. All right, we had the crazy whatever 11 October event that we will not speak about, right? The crazy weekly wick, boom, and it was even like a 15-minute wick, right? 13%, crazy. And since then, the markets have seen absolute blood and tumbling, and that has been in this channel, and we have continued in this channel. We are coming up to this vital point of resistance, and this is very, very important because, in my opinion, we're going to talk about, obviously this other structure that's happening here and how these structures are colliding. But we can see here that this line is going to be tough to break. It's very, very significant resistance that has given us some of the biggest moves we've ever seen. All right, this is 3 weeks with a 27% down from that top downward sloping support resistance line on this weekly parallel channel. Sometimes I just say the wrong thing, guys. So let me know if I do literally say the wrong word. Sometimes I watch some of my own things back and I'll say bearish when I mean bullish or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, that guy definitely meant bullish. But you know what I mean. All right, so that one, look at that. Even worse, 35% down from that resistance. Absolutely catastrophic. which means we have to watch this. If we get the rejection and we're looking at anything similar, straight up down to a big wick down below the bottom of the channel. And it's nice when parallel channels, they make things visual, right? They make things a little bit more simple. And this is why... Oh, we got a stop loss going off in profit. Wonder which one it was. But anyway, all good. They're all in profit. And that's the sound I like to hear, right? The Bybit, boing, arbitrate going off in profit's always a nice sound. Lovely to have you, Schreiber, in the building. Been a while. Nice to see you, brother. Let us know how it's going. All right, so we are watching out now for the rejection because we can see that this would be quite a decent drop, right? If we get another wick below, it could be up to a 40% down from here. And you know what's interesting there is these levels don't not make sense. They don't not make sense, guys. You can see here, we can drop to that level, all right? This is not crazy. This is not illogical at all that we could see those levels, all right? Crypto sentiment is at one of the worst that I have ever seen it. Right? Crypto is a scam. Bitcoin's going to zero. Take all your money out. Right? All of these narratives are very, very hot right now. And that's the kind of thing that can just very easily spark off that kind of final capitulation. And in a way, I'm like, let's just do it, right? Everybody knows I'm not afraid of the blood. I've been through multiple cycles. And in a way, I'm just like, whatever, fine. Let's just get the final capitulation out of the way. Let's shake out all those hands so the whales can actually come in, and we can see that that is a zone, in my opinion, that could be a nice whale accumulation zone. Alrighty, let's go to our oscillators on this weekly, starting with the market cipher. And I know everyone always just wants to zoom in, but guys, this is super important to have in your minds at all times. Where are we on the monthly? What's happening on the monthly trend? Where are we on the weekly? So that while you are slamming those day trades and those scalps, you've got those major swings. And what's so awesome, I've seen McCall do it, right? I've seen Bitman do it. I've seen our community do it. Taking profits out of swing trades and putting them in scalps, right? Swing trades that last months, that you just keep milking, and that can fund your scalping. All right, McCall, I know you are of the opinion 85K in a few weeks, and it does. It makes a lot of sense. I will tell you that, right? When we go into the daily and the 4 hour, we can see just how important those levels are. I mean, even on this chart, on this weekly, you can straight up see, boom, when does the resistance start coming in? All right, look at all those wicks. If we break this range, where's the next major stop without even using volume profile? You can see here, it's at these wicks and it's at these bodies. Right? I would say just above 85, but yeah, somewhere there, 85, 86. If we break out of this channel, that's what's on the cards, and the weekly makes it a whole lot more simple. I don't have the comments on the screen today. Should we do it? Let's make it a tall one. Is that fine, guys? Oh, that's cool, right? Then it doesn't cover the chart. Sweet. All right, so market cipher is giving us a little bit more of a brighter picture than that monthly, and you know that's how it happens. The monthly will obviously lag, the weekly will be faster, down to the daily 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, etc., etc. And we can see here that market cipher did us the dizzle, right? Market cipher did us the dizzle, guys. It gave us the green dot. It gave us the uneven butt cheeks, even. Right? Those of you who are J. Casper fans will know all about Sam Bankman-Fried's uneven man boobs and the uneven butt cheeks, right? It's just a funny way of keeping this pattern in your mind, guys. Very important. The uneven butt cheeks is a very powerful pattern, and these green dots are what we want to see on these higher time frames. So, McCall, I believe you were one of them, right? Who went long? Who went long on the weekly green dot? And this is why I push higher time frames. Because we sleep on them. We're so focused on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 3 minute. You miss a green dot here. That was all the way back here, guys. Anywhere, right, in this green candle. You could have gone long, and it's just playing out. Right? Playing out really, really nicely. Also, of course, another nice reason to take that trade was the beautiful wick that was put in there. We've spoken about this many times before. When you get a big wick, that liquidity does like to be swept. right? Which is another reason I'm also very cautious about this level here. I am very cautious about the longs that could come in, and this is all based on geopolitics right now. This is all based on what's happening with the oil, with the inflation, with the war, right? That's actually really running our markets. So this is what we're watching out for now. If this resistance breaks, come down, and this could be a nice rifle pattern, right? Not technically getting the bull here, but it is the uneven butt cheeks. And yeah, this green dot does seem like it's playing out, and it could continue to play out a lot further. It could actually take wave trend all the way up, right? And that would be our 85K move if wave trend does come all the way up. VWAP has been a little bit confused, but it did cross to the upside with not the best curve, but now we do see money flow on its way up. VWAP is on its way back up. It's not ideal here on the weekly, but it's not terrible either. And then we do also see our regular RSI looks like on the weekly starting to come up from the oversold, right? We spoke about this weekly RSI a lot when it was in oversold, and it was a very interesting bullish sign that we could get some nice pumpage from here. We're talking about it all the way back here. Like, how are we that low, right? The last time we were that low on weekly RSI was literally the bottom depths of our last bear market. And then we got this little baby bull, and then it was all up from there. And we're seeing something very, very similar here. So yeah, McCall, you could really have something here, man. This could be, it could be a bottom for who knows what kind of highs, right? Long from 66. Let us know what the entry was. I take it was Market Cipher. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I saw your long. It was really nice from 66. All right, is everybody following? Please let me know if you've seen anything on these higher time frames that I am missing out on. I'm going to go now into the daily. I don't want to spend the whole time on Bitcoin today. All right, very important from here is to drop in obviously a few of our major strategic instruments. The first one being the fixed range volume profile. I actually dropped another FRVP strategy tutorial today. Okay, awesome. Let me add that to the indicators we're going to check out. That will be the third one then that we're going to check out today. If you think it's worth it, McCall. The SMC oscillator. I see you've been using it, right? There's 3 new indicators I want to look at today. But I did just drop an FRVP strategy tutorial, guys. I've tried to break it down very simply. I think it's super, super powerful. And it's really, in my opinion, the right place to start for a trading plan, right? Every trader has to have a trading plan. And in that trading plan, you have to have at least 5 things that you look at for confluence. And then in any trade, you want at least 3 of those giving you confluence in the same direction. And for me, the core of this, the absolute core that enables you to always be in that position of power is the fixed range volume profile. Brand new tutorial up on that, so check it out. I just dropped it about an hour ago. All right, so there we go. We are struggling to break that value area line here. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I did just drop the tutorial, but here we are testing that value area high line, right? Crazy. 3 candle bodies there to the dollar. The bulls are really putting it in. And you know what's so awesome here is, yeah, a lot of us did get the longs here, right? There was a beautiful 4-hour bullish divergence that played out right there at the value area low. We got bears up here at the SMC on the way down, right? We got bullish signals at the value area low there. We got bulls here. We got bears there. This value area range has been, once again, a beautiful tame range that you can trade as long as you are using this very simple indicator along with any other indicators you want for confluence, just to make sure that when you are here, you know when to clock, right? When to smash that long. And when you are here, you know when to smash that short. So first of all, we are tapping that value area. It was a rejection of POC all the way down, and then the beautiful break of POC. And this is, again, telling you that fixed range volume profile is playing out beautifully in the range. We have to trade the range until it breaks. If you are more advanced, keep your longs open, keep your shorts open, so that when the range does break, the stop in the opposite position will get hit, and then the trade that is in the correct direction will go into parabolic profits. And that's really where I want everyone to get to, right? I know it's definitely easier at the beginning to just focus on one direction and say, okay, I'm going to wait for the lows to look for the longs and then close it out, right? Once you get past your POC, take your major profits and close it out. But if you can still take profits here when you're opening your shorts but not close the trade, then you start to hedge, and that's when you start getting into a much higher level of trading. Alrighty. Let's take it nice and slow here. So we can see there, boom, high volume node sticking out perfectly, giving us the perfect double wick resistance, and clear as day we're getting a squeeze here. Clear as day, right? There's the resistance, there's the support. We're getting a massive squeeze, and this could be a swing failure pattern, guys. This really could be a swing failure. Don't enter below. All right, if you want to enter the short, wait for price if it gets back up into value area high. And I'm going to talk about the zones here to look out for that, because there are some really nice confluence zones there. And it does look like it could be a swing failure, right? There's not an evening star. There's not even a reverse harami there. There's nothing yet. I would call these two pretty much dojis, right? Complete indecision. It could be a continuation. It could be a reversal. So you need to know the indicators to look out for, right? Husseini in the building. What's up, brother? Lovely to have you. Yo, I might need to tie this up. Give me 1 second. Oh, Husseini, so proud of you, bro. Consistently grafting and absolutely killing it. So young, so smart. Lovely to have you, brother. I have known Husseini 4 years now. And honestly, he's so dedicated, and he's young, and he's smart. All right, let's go. We will check out this oscillator. Okay, so let's just finish off our TA here. Fixed range volume profile, definitely looking like possible shorts up above it. And then very important is to look at, first of all, these volume nodes there, right? We can see the one that gave us the beautiful sniper entries there for anyone who did enter, and start to get used to identifying these zones, guys. It's really not hard, right? You see that spike there. See that spike there. That's what gives you major resistance. If you really did want to go short there were some short signals on the lower time frames. That's the level you short at. Sniper entry on the top of the wicks. Lovely. All right, very clear. Above us, we can see the next one. And then above that, we can see the next one. And then what's very important here, in my opinion, is to take these as zones, right? It does take time to learn this, but just see, okay, this high volume node popped out to a similar level to that high volume node. So I draw in a rectangle there, which is a zone of resistance. And then the same thing above it, right here. You see these volume bars popping out to a similar level. That's when you draw in a zone, all right? That's what it's telling you by that similar level, is that there's a zone of relatively equal resistance there. And you can see how important it is to understand it as a zone and to make sure you are positioning yourself properly. And then one here that I don't want anybody to forget about, right? This could really be the one. And let me zoom in here so you can see exactly what's happening, right? Trying to get it away from the candles a little bit there. But there is a nice zone here, and I would take it basically from here to there. Honestly, if we do get a major short, we're going to look at the larger fixed range volume profile to see what's happening there. But this is just the next zone to keep in mind. It would also make sense in terms of the market structure currently that Bitcoin is making, with, see, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. That could be a high level. And then very important is this volume up here, which will also become clearer as we look into our larger range volume profile, which I'm going to do next. And that can also serve as part of your weekly analysis. All right, if you go to the weekly and you zoom out and you say, okay, wow, huge range. Very important to understand what is the volume doing in this entire massive range. Nice to see we're above POC. There's your value area low. There's your value area high. But what's very important here are your high volume nodes and your high volume zones, just to drop them in. All right, I'm just going to drop in the nodes for now. And keep in mind this volume, right? Can you see how the volume is going up all the way to this 97 level? And there we have the, ooh, another one gone off. There we have this beautiful high volume zone, which really is, you know, McCall's take profit target for the current longs. It's making sense. And also very important to just drop in what's happening below us here, right? Massive high volume node. And then a nice little zone here. And if you want, if things really get bearish, that will be one of the lower levels. Alrighty, alrighty. Please let me know if everybody's following. I see there's a concentration happening. Very nice. All right, I think from there I want to move on to, well, let's just take a look at the daily market cipher. It's rolling around. It's rolling around. This could be the end of the longs, and what we're looking for here is a red dot, right? Ideally, we want this red dot to occur up here above the 45, but either way, it is a nice big time frame. You can see how even here a red dot can give you a little bit of insight. Really, you want that red dot to come when price is above value area high, and you want it to come above the 45 line for a nice daily short trade. So right now, I am not smashing the short. If there is a really strong 4-hour signal, I will take it. But really, I'm waiting for this daily VWAP to cross to the downside. And I'm waiting for this money flow, which is now flat, to decide what the direction is there. And really, this could take a little bit of time, guys. All right, it's almost like, okay, boom. There's your full moon, right? Your full moon pump. Takes a little bit of time for everybody to reset, and that could be your new moon dump. Alrighty. And then, of course, it's the order blocks. Yeah, and I think that's really where I'm going to be aiming for the next short. And I think for me, from here, I mean, RSI on the daily is also important. Let's just have a look at the stochastic. Trying to teach good habits here and not leave anything out. You can see that stochastic wants to roll over, right? Something to note that daily stochastic is in the top. And yeah, again, just like I explained at the beginning with the weekly, you want to see it cross and trend down to the momentum zone. And when it crosses while trending into the momentum zone, that's your stochastic signal for the short. And of course, just rhyme it with your regular. Okay, so I know it's getting a little bit messy, but just keep this in mind. And we're going to go to the 4-hour and just pull up these bearish order blocks. Right, and I love this one that McCall has mentioned. I'm going to take out this zone, these zones, and I'm just going to leave in the nodes, right? So these are our major levels of resistance above us. And this is a really nice place to look for an SMC bearish OB because we have a very clear uptrend, right? With very clear support and resistance, basically very clear higher lows that were also very clearly invalidated, right? When we broke down from that point. So this is the impulse move. If we look back from the break of structure, you can coil the green candles there, right? I hope this is big enough. You can just take this coil of green candles and pop in your bearish OB there. And I think this could be very juicy. Just watch out here, right? For the fake out. And this is really where SMC trading, becomes quite an art. And really, I would urge you to find confluence here with your SMC order block and your market cipher. All right, so we can see here market cipher gave us a really nice bearish divergence, but now the green dot has printed. The market cipher says no, 4-hour money's coming in, VWAP's crossing. Right, what I'm looking for here is the rifle pattern. I've done tutorials on this. I've spoken about it. I know a lot of you guys are now starting to use it. And this is one of the scenarios that it could play out absolutely beautiful, right? We see the bearish divergence, but the whales are saying, you know what? It's too simple. It's too simple, and we don't want all of the newbies to make money with the bearish divergence all the way to value area low. Let's manipulate, right? The whales are stepping in and saying, let's pump it above it so we can just stop out everybody who saw the bearish divergence and went short. This is the manipulation move, and this could be the real short move if we are going to fakey above here and move back down into this channel, which is very likely, right? And here, we're just looking for a trigger wave that comes up nice and high, right? Something like this. There's the butt of your rifle. There is your trigger. And then here is your rifle, which gives you your nice short trade. So look for another red dot trigger wave here with VWAP crossing to the downside, money flow pointing down. And if that comes in while you are around this OB, it could be a really, really lovely trade. And what I want you to just watch out for here is, because this is such a heavy resistance, just watch out for this OB faking out to that level, right? And one of the arts of taking these OBs is watching price get to the OB and say, okay, now I'm getting ready, but I'm not going to short it yet. I'm going to watch price in this OB and see what happens, right? And even if the OB gets broken to the upside, don't give up on that OB, right? It can come back in there, give you your short signal on your market cipher, or your stochastic RSIs, or whatever indicator you're using, and then the short can play out, right? So don't set limit orders here. Don't take the trade willy-nilly, but watch the reaction that happens at that order block zone, and especially if you do see a move away from it, right? And the main thing is to make sure you are using a strong reversal indicator like your market cipher. Is everybody following? I think there's also a really cool little OB just above that. It's a little bit more nuanced to pop in, but I see the SMC traders doing this all the time, right? You take a little micro trend like this. You say, there's the break of trend to the downside. That's the impulse move, the previous green candle, right? It looks like not much, but it's important. It's important, guys. That is an SMC bearish order block, and that is actually with the high volume node inside it, right? So there's two beautiful order blocks to look out there for the bearish signals, and then even this structure above. I know it's getting a little nitty gritty here, but it's just a little bit confusing while you're drawing it in, and then it makes a lot of sense, right? So even here, you can see this as an uptrend right here. From there, break of structure, uptrend. Right, so here's the break of structure for that uptrend. There's the impulse move, previous cluster of green candles, basically there, right? It also has that high volume node in it. And these can be sniper entries. All right, just to be clear, these would be 3 different entries with nice tight little stop losses above the zones. Or, of course, if you are zooming out onto higher time frames, you could see this entire section as a zone to build a short, right? I would view these as sniper levels, each for a different trade, if the short signal comes in. So everybody with me? All right, let me have a drink. Can't believe how long this Bitcoin analysis takes. Oh my gosh, it's already 55 minutes. Alrighty, cool. So like what I like to do from there is to go into the 1 hour, right? And I drop in the 1 hour OBs, and then I look at where the 1 hour OBs and the 4 hour OBs are overlapping, and I take those as my sniper entry signals. But I think we've spent so much time today on Bitcoin. Let's move a little bit away. And the last thing I really want to show here on the daily, super important in terms of major structural levels, is the upward sloping parallel channel. I know this is just getting so messy right now, so I hope everybody has screenshotted, or you know what, I'll leave this here, I'll screenshot it, I'll put it in the Discord. Let me just use another chart to clean up quickly. Actually, it's fine, right? It's not that messy. You guys are smart. You guys are smart. You'll pick it up. I'm just going to pop it on here. All right, parallel channel upwards. Right? Can you see the extreme lows? These extreme lows are telling a story because they are consistently getting higher and higher. So we drop in a parallel channel, and it's much of a muchness where you drop this, right? There's no exact real place to drop it. And we can also then see that the extreme resistances are also upward sloping, right? So there's a beautiful market structure. You can see direct tap, beautiful double top, boom. Beautiful double top, boom. At the median line. All right, what's happening, Brendan? New. I hope you're here to be nice. Ernie Oatwinkle. All right, what's the riddle? Let's see it. All right, beautiful tap there of the median line. It shows you just how important this channel is, right? Extreme significance. If you can't see that dotted line, I'm just going to drop in a trend line there, but that's the median line of this upward sloping parallel channel. Super, super important. I'm just looking at this riddle. We're going to try keep it crypto related here, but it's nice to have some randomization there in the chat and some humor. All right, super, super important here. We can see that if we do flip this, major support and resistance, and it's almost like a big zone around this median line, right? You can see that. If we manage to flip out of this, boom, we come up all the way, getting short trades along the way to try and test that, right? Is everybody with me? And if you can get this extra confluence of this tippy top line with one of these OBs, right? It'll be too quick to get it, I think, with either of these. It's too far already. I can get it wrong. But this one is still possible, right? The OB up here in confluence with the top of that upward sloping parallel channel. And this also gives you a nice squeeze here. This could easily be something that happens now and then a breakout to either direction. All right, so I just wanted to alert everybody here to that. All right, very nice. We've done a lot of work. Let's have a little bit of fun here. Let me just check I haven't left anything out. Boom, 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 boom. This is interesting. It's going to be even messier now. Sorry about that. Right. We're going to go to the daily and drop that 50 over 200. And super cool and important to note how price has popped above this, right, this smaller, faster moving average of the 50 on the daily. That is like the golden cross ratio, 200 over 50. And the 50 is really the trend, right? And we can see that's where we fake it out above it. First, we came to test it. Then we came to fake it out above it. We came to test it again. Now we came to test it and we're back up above it. If we can flip this 50 into support, that means that we could ride this 50 to the upside, and it could be, as McCall is suggesting, the start of a trend reversal. All right, we can also see here very clearly how the 4-hour is wanting to cross, right, which could also be the sign of a pump, but very likely we will see price coming down to actually retest that as a trend if this trend does turn around. So I thought I would drop that in. Super important. All right, let's see if I've left anything else out here. All right, so very important to watch this larger, major downward sloping parallel channel. What happens there? Do we get rejected? Do we break out above it? Do we break out above it and retest? Do we fake out above it and come down? All right, this for me is, it's crazy that we're at that line. It's very, very significant. One of the most significant lines that we can see on our charts right now. Cool, 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 cool. Let's just go deeper into this 4-hour market cipher very quickly. Okay, now I think we're sorted there. We're looking for the rifle pattern. Let's have a look at the 1-hour. Okay, 1 hour is moving towards a possible dot here, and a potential bearish divergence. All right. If we do come higher on our price and lower on our wave trend, we could get one of these nice 1 hour bear divs. So keep an eye out for that if you are more on the intraday side, but money flow is pointing right up right now. All right. Money is definitely coming in, guys. Money's coming in. All right, so there I would do the 1 hour OBs. I'm not going to do them now because we are so far through time, but do your 1 hour OBs on your own and overlap them with your 4 hour OBs. And now we're going to get into some market charts nice and quick because I want to look at these strategies that the crew is using and loving, because I'm so proud. You guys are taking what I'm giving you and creating your own trading plans. Guys, there's nothing better, right? There's nothing better. Taking information and making it your own. That's what it's about, creating your own trading strategy. And then it really feels like yours. All right, USDT dominance is really behaving very nicely. And it's nice to see that our TA does work. It's not all a myth. All right, we were looking at this upper downward sloping trend line as a support and resistance flip. And we were looking at this downward sloping top of the parallel channel for a rejection. We have gotten that rejection from the top of the channel down to the trend line that we were looking at for the support and resistance flip. This is where it broke from being resistance. This is where it is being tested as support. Very, very simple trend line lore. And now we'll see, right? There it's threatening a break down below, in which case it will just be a fakie out of this trend and it will fall back. Let's actually extend this. It will fall back down below the median of this parallel channel. And in a way, this is great. All right, in a way, this is great because it's telling us for now we are safe from the bull flag. All right, for those of you who are a little bit more new, like obviously when we are looking at the USDT dominance, it's inversely correlated to our Bitcoin price, and we are seeing a bull flag here with a very high price target up above. And if we break out there, it would mean USDT flowing out of crypto. And because we've got the major rejection there, this is where we saw our pumps coming into crypto. And I'm actually very excited for the news war video I'm dropping tomorrow, because it's just so interesting how this has all been based on oil, guys. It's all about the war and it's all about the oil. Every move in the market, pretty crazy. But anyway, at least nice to see now we are sitting on the median. We want to look for a move down below this median line, because that will be a nice trend for a continuation pump, right? And then we'll see what happens here if we do break down below here. And that will just be lovely for crypto in general. And then let's quickly have a look at the altcoins. Y'all know I always go first to my total 3. I've also seen some of you doing really nice stuff, Mr. Hard Currency, with taking the total 3 against Bitcoin, which I think is a really, really cool ratio to use. Something I don't think I've actually looked at myself, but I am going to start looking at that. All right, total 3 just struggling to break this POC, right? And if you're thinking about trading altcoins, this is what you need to always be aware of this trend, guys. Don't trade blindly. Go as far into a leading chart as you can. If you're looking at altcoin charts, if you're looking at Bitcoin charts, you're reading the lagging price action, right? What we're seeing here is what is happening. Are altcoins breaking out of the symmetrical triangle? Or is this literally going to be a fakie and more death and devastation for altcoins? This is absolutely critical. Or whether we're going to bang lots of altcoin longs or lots of altcoin shorts. And we can see right now POC, the deciding factor. If we lose POC here with a nice move up, we can have a beautiful trend on altcoins up into value area high. Right there, you can see the major resistance. And if we lose the POC, there's going to be serious violence here, guys. because then it's back into the squeeze and we can see a hugely volatile breakout once again, either to the upside or the downside. So super important chart to look at. Of course, from there, we go to the BTCD. And this is nuts. This is just nuts. I mean, to see it pumping and dumping like that in this squeeze, something massive is coming here. Something massive is coming here, and it's either going to be altcoin blood or altcoin glory, depending what happens to BTC. I'm not going to go too much into it now, right? I do have videos on it on my channel, but the Bitcoin dominance cycle is so important to understand what happens if Bitcoin dominance is going up and Bitcoin is going up at the same time. Let's actually do a little bit of a test. All right, let's see who's concentrating. Try not to use the cheat sheet, right? You should have the cheat sheet in your head. If Bitcoin dominance is going up and Bitcoin is going up, what happens to your altcoins? If Bitcoin dominance is going down and Bitcoin is going up, what happens to your altcoins? Let's see who's focusing. Let's see who's focusing in the building. All right, smash them likes, guys, if you haven't already. Let's go. I've got ultra low latency on, so your answers should come through relatively quickly. And really, like, people glaze over this because it's counterintuitive, right? But it's so important, guys. If you can get this, it gives you a proper view on the trend, right? All right, I see some coming in. Tulani, what's up, brother? Right, Tulani says decrease. Alts fly. Okay, so I did ask 2 questions at once. We should probably do it one by one. All right. There we go. Dominance up. Alt decrease. All right, so actually this all sits on your Bitcoin price, right? When understanding the cheat sheet, the Bitcoin price is like the swivel, right? There's 3 things you're looking at. The Bitcoin price is the swivel in the middle. And to make it easier for yourself, just remember, alts can't go up if Bitcoin isn't going up. All right? Alts will do what Bitcoin does. So Bitcoin's going up, you have your alts increasing. Bitcoin's going down, you have your alts decreasing. Then the rate at which your alts will increase or decrease is then based on your Bitcoin dominance. Am I making sense here? All right, so let's try this again because it's really helpful. It's really useful. I'm going to ask one of these, right? I asked 2, so it made it a little bit confusing. Okay, if Bitcoin dominance is coming down and Bitcoin is going up, what happens to your altcoins? Right? Bitcoin going up, Bitcoin dominance coming down. What happens to your altcoins? I see y'all are trying, which is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is how we learn, guys. Lovely to have the team in the building. And very cool. We will start now once a month. We're going to do a stream here that will be slightly longer, where we're going to do a little bit of a workshop, right? Where we'll have the crew in the building. Those of you who are, very active and doing a little bit better in the community, where you can actually share your screen and we can all learn from each other, right? So let me know if you think that's a cool idea. I think it's a great idea. I've really been enjoying the Discord classroom. It's awesome to see you guys sharing the strategies that you're finding that are working, and we can all learn from them. So that'll be once a month. I'm thinking towards the end of the month, we'll have a nice classroom where I will invite certain of you into the studio, and we can all share our screens, share our faces, chat together, and learn. All right, let's hear the question, guys. Bitcoin dominance down, but Bitcoin up. Try not to use the cheat sheet. Bitcoin dominance down, Bitcoin up. All right, we are running through time. So I'll let you know. Okay, you got it, bro. You got it, Zion. Well done, my brother. Okay, so just keep it in mind, right? The alts do what Bitcoin does. But how much the alts do what Bitcoin does depends on Bitcoin dominance, and that makes it simple, right? Because if Bitcoin dominance is coming down, it means your alts are seeing money flowing into them. You get it? Bitcoin dominance is going up. You're seeing alts will still move up, but you're seeing money going from alts into Bitcoin, which means they won't go up massively, right? Then if you get your Bitcoin dominance going up and your Bitcoin price going down, that's where you'll get your altcoins dumping. But yeah, McCall, you're too quick, bro. You're too quick, bro. But yeah, you guys are getting it. You're getting it. Just practice it in your mind. Every time you're analyzing these charts, try get your ratio of what the Bitcoin trend is to what the Bitcoin dominance trend is. And there you get it, right? So here we've seen Bitcoin dominance pumping. And we've also seen Bitcoin pumping, which means that yes, alts have gone up, but they haven't spiked parabolically, right? I hope that's made sense. If that Bitcoin pump happened while we were getting the rejection from the top, that's when alts spike parabolically. And really what we're looking for here is the major trend, because this is a trend that we're all going to need to hop on. All right, so this is a very, very clear squeeze. It's not looking really like a bear pennant anymore because it's taking too long, right? A bear pennant usually breaks to the downside quite quickly, and it is just looking now to me like a triangle, right? Which means it can go either way. If it breaks to the upside while Bitcoin goes up, it's still not bad. It's not bad at all for our crypto markets. But what we want to see here is it actually breaking down while Bitcoin goes up so we can just have a party on the alts. Okay, and nice to see we have the lines in here. We have the lines in perfectly, and it looks like we are going to either get a rejection or a breakout, and we need to watch what happens here in correlation to the Bitcoin price. Like Crypto, live for the Bitcoin price. One of my favorite characters in the industry. He is such a character. And look at that, from a taxi driver to a crypto multi-millionaire, and not just a millionaire, he's opening $100 million trades. That's ridiculous, right? Huge inspiration for us all. All right, cool, guys. Let's well, you guys let me know what you want to do. Let's do 20 more minutes. We're either going to do altcoin setups or let's look at the strategies. All right, JCG's new 3-minute strategy for order blocks and market cipher confluence, or hard currency if you're with us. I really want to try out your cumulative volume delta divergence trading view reversal strategy. McCall, you're here. We can look at your SMC oscillator. I think that would be quite fun. Since McCall, you are here, should we look at the SMC oscillator? Otherwise, I mean, I've also got my list here of ETH, TON, Zcash, XRP, ADA, of alts that do have setups. All right, I'll take that as a yes. I've been actually wanting to use this poll. Should we just quickly see if it works? All right, let me just quickly see if this works. It's a new function on the StreamYard. Okay, so SMC. Okay, so I'm just going to say what we end off with. Option 1. McCall's SMC oscillator. Option 2. Alt setups. All right, I really want to see if this pushes through to YouTube. Start and show. Okay, boom. LTech in the building. Definitely wag me, definitely wag me. Guys, is there a poll? I can see it like on my screen here. Is there a clickable poll for you right now on YouTube? Oh, McCall says the 3-minute SMC. So you, okay, interesting. No poll. Is there no poll right now? It should be on the bottom left. Anyway, I'll have to test that out. You guys aren't seeing a poll. Can always do it on YouTube. Also has the polls here. But anyway, I'll test those out. Still figuring out the SMC. Okay, great. So there's no poll. We see it, but no click. Weird. Okay, no stress. I really wanted JCG to be live for this, but if everyone's happy, then let's end off having a look at his new strategy, and we'll keep to our altcoin setups in the trading setups room in the Discord here, right? So any setups you have, drop them here. Let everybody give you their input and trade along. 4% move. Very nice. Very nice. So I don't think he's with us, but killing it. The team is killing it. Let's see, McCall. Opened the AI grid bot with PIONEX bonus. Well done, Ica. Lovely to see. All right, cool. So let's see if you make some profits there. Drop the snapshot of that into the PIONEX room. And yeah, I've been so busy with other stuff, but we're going to continue with our next section of PIONEX learning soon. All right, you got the Sol USD. USD, so you're actually margining this in Sol. Sol margin USD. Really cool, man. 10x. 92% on a 10x. That means you caught a 9% move. Congratulations, man. Well done. 76 to 83. McCall. Beautiful. All right, it seems, is this also margined in SUI? Very interesting that you are margining your trades in the actual collateral asset. 84 to 93. Man, that's a 10% increase on a 10x. Congratulations, McCall. And the same thing with the ETH. So really, I think that hand in hand with JCG's, it was a Pippin trade. Those are the trades of the week, guys. Well done. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, it actually beats the Pippin trade, really, because the Pippin trade is a 25x on 900%. This is a 9% up on Ethereum. Hats off, brother. Congrats. All right, so I haven't actually looked at this before, so it's going to be a little bit interesting for everyone here. But this is how we roll. Let's have a little bit of fun. It is the end of the stream. All right, and let's see if we can start to look at some 3-minute scalping strats. I do have my own 3, 5-minute, 15-minute multi-time frame scalping strat. Oh, we're ripping. We are ripping, sitting at that median line right now. Add some resistance. And I do want to get back into the live trading, guys. It is fun, and I love scalping strategies because you can just hop on to the charts at any time, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or what's happening. You can hop onto the charts and you can just scalp for a little bit, right? The risk management has to be very, very intense. All right, I actually forgot to drop it earlier. Let me just drop it now, guys. So get involved, please. There's not much time for this. This is the Apex. Important link, right? Make sure when you're doing your deposit, transferring it to your perpetuals and taking your first trade to get your free capital, you are using this link. Very, very important. It's in the chat. All right, to earn more crypto. Yeah, so super awesome, right? If you take profits, you take profit in those cryptos. And now it makes sense to me, right? So you're adding it to your bags because we are deathly low on alts. So it is a nice time to accumulate. And if you can accumulate by earning profits, super, super cool. All right, let's have some fun to end off. And of course, I'm going to practice this on my own and see how it goes. But let's see what's happening here, because JCG, as everybody can see in the Discord, has been absolutely milking the charts lately. All right, so I do use the Tuffy SMC indicator. I absolutely love it. But what JCG here has suggested, he is the creator of the strategy we're going to look at now. What he has suggested is using a slightly different SMC indicator. So I'm going to see how both compare here. And the indicator that he is using, I might need to take an indicator away here. We'll take away this cross. All right, so as I understand it, it's the smart money concept order block. Maybe it's SMC OB. All right, let's just find it. It's from these people called View Trading. View Trading. I think we can also use the Tuffy one, but I'm very curious to see this one that JCG has been using. One sec. Oh, there it is. Well, there's one from View Trading, SMC multi-time frame. Okay, at least there's one from View Trading there. Another one from View Trading. But it's locked. Does anybody know the exact name? Order blocks with signals. Thank you, Xiom. Much appreciated, bro. There we go. View Trading, order blocks with signals. All right, so I'm not sure what the signals exactly are. I haven't used it yet, but I'm guessing that if you come into the order block and you get a reaction from the order block, that's when it will give you like a little signal. All right, so super interesting here. On the 3-minute time frame, we can see where we would be looking for our scalps, right? Looking for a long scalp there. These are all bullish order blocks. Long scalp there, long scalp there. And this can be really fun, right? And we're going to do it together. We're going to do it on Apex. As I said, I'm going to I want to get my editor to help me more. So I'm going to spend less time editing, more time just making content and live streaming. So we're going to have fun live trading with these kinds of strategies. I've taken my time to teach you guys everything you need to know to build your trading plans on the larger time frames, right? And that's really where you need to start. You shouldn't come into scalping before trading on the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour. But now that we are coming in to this level where I feel like a lot of you are really growing and you know everything I'm laying out on the charts, you know how to do it yourself. Now we can start to be a little more advanced, right? And that does come into scalping, and it's just about heightening your risk management when you scalp, right? Because we're going to be using higher leverage, which means on cross margin you can, liquidate unified accounts and stuff like that. But it's also great practice. And we're going to start with small trades, right? We're going to go on Apex and we're going to live trade together with these kinds of fun trades, right? And this is what I have traded on Apex, these kinds of styles before during the esports tournaments. And it's super fun, right? The Apex liquidity is great. It executes really quickly. All right, so basically what you do now is you screen through the charts and you look for basically a chart that has, price near an OB, or just watch out. Like I've seen, what JCG does here is he'll just take a horizontal line there and he'll just pop in an alert, right? So you just pop in an alert there and you just say, okay, Bitcoin crossing the 3-minute OB line, just to alert yourself, okay, then to look at Bitcoin, right? Because these charts move very quickly. And go to the coins that you want to trade, create some alerts. You can even take a circle, you can take a rectangle, you can create an alert on whatever you want for a zone. And then when that alert goes off, you know there's a scalping OB, and then you come to your market cipher on the 3-minute. And this is where market cipher, it becomes like, right, I never want to really compare trading to gaming or gambling at all. But when you start to really find confluence with your market cipher on these lower timeframes and understand market cipher properly, it can become almost gamified, right? McCall, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about here. It becomes like playing a visual game with the charts. Is it creating an OB there? Interesting. Right, so you see it's actually creating a little OB there. Super cool. And that's where the bearish divergence came in on the 3-minute. And you did get the VWAP cross and the money flow is pointing down. And what's also super exciting here is once you understand using market cipher on your daily and your higher time frames, it all makes sense on these lower time frames. And you say, okay, there's confluence there. Bearish divergence, money flow coming down, VWAP crossed. It was at a perfect point of resistance. Okay, I'll hop on a scalp. Okay, and you got to remember the idea of a scalp is to hop into a trend, go into profit, and then get out. That is the idea of a scalp, guys. You do not want to be hanging around in a scalp. And I think, you know, part of what can help in the beginning is to say, okay, I'm on the 3-minute time frame. How many candles do I want in my scalp? Okay, maybe 5 or 10. I'm not going to stay in any scalp more than 20 to 30 minutes. Right? If it doesn't go boom, I'm just going to drop it. I'm going to exit the trade. All right? That is what has helped me. When you are scalping, you want to be able to see a trend, hop on a trend, and literally 1 or 2 candles, maybe 3 candles, and you get out. You take your profits, and then even in a day, if you get one good scalp, that's the money you use for the rest of the day scalping, right? And if you lose it, you stop. Risk management has to be really, really high, and your strategy has to be really good. And yeah, we can see here, I mean, you can see confluence straight away on the charts. Straight away on the charts from the bullish divergences, right? Very, very cool. So here on the 3-minute chart, you can see this OB, right? This is the OB on that view trading indicator. The OB came all the way to here. When we were here, what happened? Money flow beautifully trending upwards, VWAP crossing to the upside, and there the bullish divergence. When price had mitigated to the 3-minute OB. Lovely scalp trade, guys. Lovely scalp trade. And I think this is so cool. This is the kind of stuff that you start creating when you are on the charts every day. And I love what JCG is doing, right? He said to himself, okay, my trades are going to be $100 trades every single time, right? That's where I'm at now. He is doing very well. He's learning very well. Where he's at now, $100 per trade, right? With, say, a stop loss of 30 to 50%. So he knows what he's risking in each trade, and he knows that he's learning and he's taking it slow. And then once the strategy picks up win rates, you start to get more back tested on those $100 trades. And this is where he is at now, because he's back testing it over almost 20 trades now with a nice ROI, with a nice win rate. And that's when he's going to start increasing his margin. And yeah, there we can see really nice. Basically, any of these red signals is where you would start to take profits, right? And if a scalp goes in your way, of course, there are lots of different profit-taking techniques that you can use there, and that is something I wanted to go into today, especially for Mr. BB. Mr. BB, let me know if you are in the chat, and I will go through all of the major profit-taking techniques. But for scalping, man, guys, it's that trailing stop with the parabolic saw. I will tell you that. For scalping, it is an absolute winner. That's one of the main uses for a trailing stop is in scalping. And if you can just get your trailing stop, as you can see here, right, with the right amount of distance, it will trail up all the way. And it could even still be with the right distance just below price. And if it gets hit, it's a really nice automated way, you know, to get you out of the trade. But basically use your market cipher then to say, okay, there's a red dot, right? First TP, I'm going to take some of it out of the trade and I'm going to put my stop loss to break even. What time was this? 4:30. 4:30. We're gonna get some of these lives, guys. Some of these live. What a nice strategy. JCG, I know you're gonna watch this, and props, man. This is awesome. Let's just quickly see what the toughie says, right? Pretty dang similar. A little bit more sniper, but pretty dang similar. I think this one has disappeared on the toughie because it's already been, I don't know. Toughie's not showing that one. A little bit lower. But very nice confluence, looking pretty similar. Okay, there's your other red dot right there. If you're still in the trade, because your stop is at break even. I mean, on scalping, especially when you're starting, you can just close the trade at your first red dot, right? At the first sign of reversal on your indicator, you can hop out of the trade. Like, one thing also to remember on scalping is any green is good, guys. Any green is good. If you're on 100x here, you're already looking at a 76% profit, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. And, you know, there's so many different ways to do this. You can say, okay, my first one, I'm going to take 50% off the trade, which is what I like to do. First TP, 50% off the trade, stop loss to break even. Let the rest ride. Next red dot that you get, somewhere around here, you say, okay, I'll take another 25% off the trade. Next red dot up here, another whatever, 10%. Always let a little bit ride in a scalp until you hit your stop loss in case you get a beautiful impulse move, because it's crazy, guys. A scalp that you think is going to be quick can end up, you know, if you catch a pump on a scalp with 100x, it's a beautiful feeling, right? But of course, now we have gotten the bear from that long scalp. And I mean, even here, you know, we saw the continuation wasn't really coming down to the right order block for this scalping strategy. But this continuation would tell you, okay, you know, I'm going to leave a little bit more in this trade. But when you got the bear, that's when you actually start looking for the short scalp. And yeah, I hope I'm making sense here with profit taking. But I'm loving this strategy, guys. Trading the 3 minute is gnarly rodeo, but we're going to do it live as a crew and get a handle on this strategy, right? Awesome. Glad you're enjoying. Yeah, it's so cool, right? It's that change that happens. And for me, it was market cipher. Like I was using Fibonacci. It's like it was quite rapid where market cipher started to make sense, and then SMC started to make sense. And those two together with your RSI and your Fibonacci and all of the other indicators, there was just this switch that flipped, right? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can see through the market now. It's becoming a lot easier. All right, that very nice resistance playing out now with the bearish divergence. Very nice. All right, for scalping, always take initial TP and move stop loss to entry after TP1. 100% agree. 100% agree. So it depends what you're using for your take profits. I would say use an indicator in the opposite direction, right? So there you see the bull. And when you see your indicator in the next opposite direction, take your first TP, put your stop loss to break even. And even like if you have to enter a scalp and then you can't be on the charts, just enter the scalp and then take a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio from your stop loss, wherever it is. And then at that 1-to-1, put an activation price for your trailing stop, right? It's a really nice way to just automate a higher win rate. Does that make sense? What is the name of Tuffy indicator on TradingView? I would highly recommend watching the video, right? If you want to use the Tuffy SMC, it's super amazing, but watch the video on it. It's this one, Tuffy SMC order block. But it's very important, like, to watch that video that I have made on it, and then make sure you take Tuffy's Telegram DM from that video and send him a DM so he'll give you a discount on that indicator, because that's just love for our community, right? He's paid mad devs to build it, so he needs to make money to obviously recoup what he paid the devs, but he is giving us a nice discount. And yeah, that video is under the Tuffy Pro Indicators playlist. All right, looks like a really cool strategy happening here. Let's just end off by quickly screening. All right, so what we're going to do is just keep our market cipher nice and big, keep this indicator on, and then as you're trading, try to create this. It's what's called a watch list, right? On TradingView, this is called your watch list. All the coins that you like to trade. And what I've actually done here is I've created a list of coins that are particularly nice to trade on Apex, right? I'm trading on Apex, so I've created a watch list for the coins that are on Apex. And I've also tried to choose coins that are somewhat less manipulated, higher cap, higher liquidity, right? And this is my Apex watch list, which makes it a lot easier to screen, right? There's all kinds of things that you can use for screening. But what I like to do is just set up my strategy, right? We've got the indicator here for the OBs. Here we've got the indicator for the signals at the OBs. And then you just say, okay, here's Ethereum. And once you click on the watch list, then you can use your arrow keys, right? And you can so quickly smash down, which makes it so easy to screen. It takes a little bit of time to set up the watch list, but here's one, right? Red dot, money flow still hanging around. The VWAP not quite crossing how we wanted to. But, all right, let's start this again. ETH. Sheesh, that last ETH trade, guys. I actually closed the trade. I closed the trade because it was a scalp, but sheesh, check it out. This was the entry. This was the entry, and this did come from the Pro Traders Charts group on my Discord, right? So that was not my scalp setup. It was a friend of mine, but I dropped it in there. TP1, TP2, TP3, and then shware, boom. Parabolic, just absolutely killer. 7% up past TP3. So cool. But yeah, those Pro Traders charts I'm dropping there are strictly just for alpha, right? Just to use. Don't follow them blindly, guys. It's not a signal group. It's not a signal group. Okay, Ethereum. Market cipher works so nicely on this 3-minute time frame. It's a little bit kind of like the timings are a little bit. This is why you need the confluence, right? And really you're looking for an order block that gets mitigated to, not a new order block that pops up, but an order block that gets mitigated to, and then a signal, kind of like what's happening now. But we would need the market cipher signal while we are in this bearish order block. Yeah, this is a really fun style for live trading. And we'll need a few hours, right? We'll do it. But I'll be walking on my treadmill. We're going to do some longer live trading streams. And that's really where the magic's going to happen. All right, there we go. So Sol getting rejected from an order block. No market cipher signal coming in yet. And what JCG's been doing is just screening like this. And if you like, there will be signals, guys. If you do this long enough, there will be signals. All right, so Avalanche is mitigating to a double OB. It's sitting in that zone. No short signal right now on the market cipher. Hype is also possible. So what you can do is set alerts on these or just note them down, right? The ones in that trading session, the ones that are in OBs or close to OBs, or particularly the ones that have nice gaps between OBs, because those are your scalp trades. Right? Don't go for a chart like I saw one here. You know, this is not, that's not a healthy space to scalp, right? And River is just crazy. All right, this ZK, that's a nice healthy move that could come in, right? Measure your move, check how far you are to your TP, and with leverage, that's enough. Yeah. Little bit late for the red signal there. Little bit late. Pepe. XLM. Oh, XLM threatening a red dot up in some OBs. It's a fun style, guys. It's a nice strat. So we'll test it out together, live trading. All right, there is a beautiful gap. All right, when you see a gap like this, let's see what Tuffy's saying. What you saying, Tuffy? All right, so in this case, the Tuffy SMC indicator is bang on. So it's impressive that this view trading indicator is doing this. But bang on. Tuffy just a little bit more sniper and already creating a new one. But pretty much bang on. And then what I would do is I would just pop a line there and create an alert. Pop a line there and create an alert. And then if you reach either one, just while price is in either of those zones, watch your market cipher like a hawk for a bullish or bearish divergence or a very nice trigger wave. All right, but if you see a trigger wave like that, make sure you are in an OB. And that confluence is magic. Magic. All right, guys, I think it's been a good stream. I'm loving this. So JCG, when you do watch it back, mad props. Mad props, and I will see you all in the Discord. But yeah, this is looking like a really fun scalping strategy. BNB threatening a little dot there. All right, so here is a nice example of one that did play out. All right, here is your bearish divergence that came in just at the order block level. And remember, guys, with scalps, it's in and out. All right, 100x, you get your 36% and you're out. This is why. Take profit. First take profit, stop loss to break even. All right, I want to find more that have been mitigated too. Oof. Oof, that's a nice one. So it wasn't quite there, but you got the bullish divergence just above the order block. Very nice. All right, so we'll keep looking into it. It's been an awesome stream, guys. Thank you so, so much. Let me drop this link. Right now, this is the most important thing. All right, there's only one more week left to get the free capital. So make sure when you are doing it, you should see this screen. All right, when you are logging in from that link for the first time, signing up, you should see this screen with my discounts that they have given and the bonus. And just make sure you get this bonus within this week. And then the bonus, as I take it to understand, is not going to expire, guys. It's not going to expire. You can take it slow with that bonus, and you will earn more as you trade volume there. After next week, there will be, I do believe, 2 weeks of volume bonus campaigns. All right, so I can't stress enough right now. Get involved in Apex, right? And then ideally you have Bybit as the SEX, and you have Apex as the DEX. We have MUBITE for our prop firms, and we have PIONEX for our grid bots. All the links in the description. All right, beautiful guys. Thank you so much. It has been a great one. I appreciate all of you. Man, I've been missing my crew, and like I say, I'm gonna be live much more. Right? It's been like 1 or 2, 3 hours a week. We're gonna be doing much more. I really like to be with you in this environment. But right now, please, guys, keep it hot in the Discord, because we have some traders there who are willfully dropping all of their setups and all of their learnings and all of their teaching, and they are doing well, and they can help you a lot. All right, thank you so much again. I do appreciate each and every one of you being here, being in this community. So much love. Please remember my advice. Always play from a position of power and strength. Use your stop loss and do not get wrecked. Peace out.